The entrance of Europeans in the South African region brought lots of changes among the Africans. One of such significant engagements and disputes was the disagreements and disputes between the Boers and the Hottentots. Between the Boers and the Hottentots. The word Boer is used to refer to Dutch farmers that settled in the South African coastal area. The establishment of Dutch settlement in South Africa can be traced to around 1652. While on the other hand, the Hottentots mainly are Africans who were involved in cattle herding. The establishment of Dutch settlement in South Africa can be traced to around 1652, when the Dutch arrived at the Cape. They established a station in the South African coastal area that was referred to as Cape Town. This station was earlier intended to be a place where traders, travelers, and other Europeans that were to and fro in the India region, they will replenish their water and fresh food. The intention of this station was for travelers, traders, and sellers to stop over in that station in order to get replenishment for food and fresh water. The station was owned by the Dutch East India Company. The Dutch East India Company, which was in charge of the station, allowed some of its employees to establish farms. Slaves were also imported from the Madagascar region in order for them to work on the farms. The station was intended to be a temporary one, but it ended up being a permanent one, where some people of Dutch extraction still exist to the present day. The Dutch settlers called themselves Afrikaners. The increasing number of these Dutch settlers encouraged them to start pursuing imperialist and exploitative activities against the Africans, who were mainly the Hottentots. Some of the Dutch farmers later went into pastoral farming, where they started rearing cattle. Prior to them going into pastoral farming, the Hottentots supplied them with meat. They got their supply of meat from the Hottentots, which were Africans. The Dutch pastoralists, in a bid to strengthen their pastoral activities, started looking for more grazing lands. This made them to start expanding. This set of Dutch pastoral farmers are referred to as the Trek Boers. The Dutch East India Company encouraged them to expand their farm or their frontiers. The push of these Trek Boers or these Dutch pastoral farmers for more grazing land led to their disputes with the Hottentots or with the Hottentot herders, who were originally the inhabitants and the owners of the grazing land. These disputes led to wars between the Trek Boers and the Hottentots. In the analysis and study of history of Africa, this particular development tend to be referred to as the Great Trek. In the wars that ensued, the Hottentots fought without success to regain the land taken from them by the trade Boers. Two of these wars occurred from around 1659 to 1660, while the second one was from around 1672 to 1677. The trade Boers seized the opportunity to collect more lands and even cattle from the Hottentots. The loss of the wars by the Hottentots as well opened the way for more grazing land for the trade Boers. The loss of land and cattle as well by the Hottentots made or helped the Boers to increase their frontiers. This was witnessed all throughout the 17th and the 18th century. This led to serious land grabbing by the Boers, that happened to be of Dutch extraction. The losses as well affected the settlement of these Hottentots. There was as well the outbreak of smallpox and epidemic that seriously contributed to the disintegration of the settlements of these Hottentots. With this destabilization, most of the Hottentot herders were integrated into the Cape Colonial society, where they were made to provide cheap labor as herdsmen and as well domestic servants to the Europeans. Some of them that could not withstand the subjugation fled the region and fled northwards to areas that were drier, and this affected their economic activities. Some of the groups that fled northwards created settlements such as the Krieger, and the Cora. The subjugation and influence of the Boers led to serious and more activities in exploitative intentions of the Boers. Please, if you're watching us for the very first time, subscribe to our channel and click on the notification icon so that anytime we drop a new content, you'll be one of the earliest persons to be notified.